the event that we have in America. No other country celebrates Nutcracker like America.
I know you got questions about the Nutcracker, but I was curious, so ballet's been around hundreds of years, right? Mm-hmm. So for a dance that's as old as ballet is, does it need to remain progressive? Are there things that have changed over the years in order to, keep it hip, so to speak?
Absolutely. We refer to contemporary dance, and the true definition of contemporary is of today. So when somebody was creating contemporary dance at the turn of the last century, it was relative to that period. It still remains relative. Like any other art form, opera, the symphony, you still have your classics. If you go across the road and listen to Beethoven, you don't want to hear a contemporized version of Beethoven.
Right.
You want to hear Beethoven. So there's a place for everything. The balance is really just continuing to preserve that legacy, if you will, and then create for the future. So my company, Milwaukee Ballet, we have done something in the region of 60 new works since my tenure began, which means we are feeding the next generation with new work, creating work that is for today. And apart from that, people have changed dramatically. What somebody would do 50 years ago is a fraction of what they can do today. So we're pushing the boundaries, pushing the limits, and that's why we need more orthopedic surgeons, because we keep breaking them. We keep breaking them.
Michael Pink is the artistic director of Milwaukee Ballet, so that leads us perfectly into Drosselmeyer's Imaginarium, this rework of the Nutcracker. So you dance carefully because, as you know, generations have gone to see the Nutcracker here in Milwaukee, and we don't typically do change well here. But the show definitely needed updating. So tell us what's new and different.
Well, yeah, you're right. We have to tread gently. The first thing I did when I said, okay, we need to look at a new one, by and large because the existing scenery and costumes were 26 years old and no orthopedic surgeon could save those. So we're not going to worry about that. But we are definitely in a place where we need to invest in new scenery and costumes. So it was an opportunity for me to say, okay, let's revisit this, let's look at it, but with one major caveat, which is tradition. I do not want to disappoint people, and I certainly do not want to trample on people's fond family memories of the Nutcracker. So I'm building it very much around the current production in terms of some of the content, but it's a whole new imagined world, which is why I'm calling it the Imaginarium. I want people to be sucked in to the whole journey. Nutcracker traditionally has a very active first act, and then we get to the second act, and it kind of slows down a bit. People get fidgety, and then the kids want more sweets and visiting the boutique.
Yes.
And so what I'm trying to do is make sure it doesn't slow down and that we keep the pace going so it zooms towards that finale.
So you and I, you referenced this, we last got together. It was early 2021 when Milwaukee Ballet was one of the first major arts groups on the planet that returned to in-person performances. I mean, you were a global leader on that, but also in so many other ways. So I'm curious, what do other cultural centers, New York, Paris, London, how do they perceive Milwaukee Ballet?
I don't know. I think, unfortunately, if you're not in a major city, a destination city, as I call them, I think people just don't think about you. And in particular in this country, because it's such a vast, vast country, everybody seems to truly live in their little bubbles. So I think when it comes to our Dance USA meetings, which is our national group, one of the great things about COVID was we all spent a huge amount of time on Zoom together. And that was the first time that, in my knowledge, had ever happened. So I think everybody suddenly went, oh, hi, who are you? No, name to face, all of that. And the conversations, everybody realized we were all in the same situation together. So we discovered so much more about each other. And one of the things that people know about this company, which is unique, is we create a very distinct narrative dance world, of which we've just done Dracula. And it was, again, a huge sell because it tells a convincing story. And classical ballet sometimes doesn't do that. Not enough people do that. So I've tried to build an identity for the company that is unique. And I say try because one continues to try. But I think we've built an identity that means it defines Milwaukee Ballet from all the other dance companies. Now, do the folks in New York come to Milwaukee to see ballet? Let me think. No, they don't.
Okay, that's fine.
But what I will say is anybody who does come, it's always the same reaction. I had no idea.
But dancers come from around the world to be a part of your company.
Absolutely. My company, when we talk about diversity and inclusion, the ballet world has always been very diverse because of the nature of it. It's a very skilled art form, and there are only a few people that really make the grade. So those people are working in these major ballet companies, and they come from around the world. What is interesting is they don't seem to want to leave. They come here. You would think this would be a stepping stone into New York, into San Francisco, into Houston, wherever. But no, they come, they stay, and they feel valued, and they realize they're a part of this world that we've created here. And that means a lot. Having been a dancer working in London, it can be very lonely because you're in a huge rat race, and as soon as you lose your edge or you need a little operation here or there, you tend to get sidelined, and then you fade away. So it's less competitive in a place like this. You can build a community. And we just retired David Hovnisian, who's been 20 years with this company. That's his entire career here in Milwaukee. He's made Milwaukee his home. He's made Milwaukee Ballet his home, and he's brought us an incredible level of artistry. So that speaks volumes to me in terms of we're building a family. And that's also Milwaukee. I mean, people say that about Milwaukee.
Sure, yeah.
You come here and you think, I'll be here 3 years. Look at me, 21 years. I didn't mean to do that.
We're glad you're still here.
So sometimes in industry, you might get discovered, or a sport. Like you can discover a guy because he's so tall and be like, you know what, we got to get him on a basketball court. Or a model could be discovered because of the way she looks for a specific type of industry where they want to take pictures or whatever. Can you discover a ballet dancer? Like, have you ever seen someone's type and been like, you know what, I got to get you some shoes?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You can see it. You can see it from a very early age. There is a physicality to this, but then there is to most sports. So you're looking at a dancer. You can see a dancer's body a mile away, and we talk about legs and feet. And that's just the aesthetic shape of the legs, the mobility, the flexibility of the ankle, the size of the arch. So when you look at a line, and a line being the line that the body creates, you can see that it has natural ability to be flexible, to turn out. You see it in gymnasts, in particular, when you see floor gymnasts.
Can you see it the other way, too? Okay, you shouldn't be.
Yeah,
you
maybe
can.
It's something else.
Yeah, you can. So I think probably stay where you are.
Right. If this makes you happy, you're welcome here, but
yeah, I think, your legs are under the table at the moment, so I won't evaluate
Totally
that.
get it.
No, but what I'm guilty of is that I look beyond that. I'm also very, very interested in the personality and the work ethic. And people will tell you that we have dancers in our company that perhaps are not the most aesthetically perfect classical dancers, but what they are as artists and what they bring to the stage for me is worth so much more, because that's what it connects with our audience. So I love the balance of it. I call us gypsies because we truly are. And I know I probably just said a word I'm not supposed to, so I'm really sorry if I offended anybody. I won't do it again. But it really is a question of building that team. You need one of those, two of those. You need that diverse group of people that make up a whole.
Michael Pink, Artistic Director at Milwaukee Ballet, thank you so much. You are a treasure. The ballet is a treasure. And best to your wife, Jane, who does so much work in the arts community as well here.
Yeah, well, thank you guys so much. It's such a pleasure. And I'm really glad I managed to find you in this amazing new facility here. Yeah.
It's not the easiest to get into, is it?
Okay, anytime. Just invite me
Next
back.
up from Milwaukee Ballet, Nutcracker Drosselmeyer's Imaginarium. It opens December 8th at the Marcus Performing Arts Center. Tickets at milwaukeeballet.org. Checking in with Debbie here one more time before 9 o'clock.
All right, still dealing with some slowdowns. We've got a disabled vehicle on southbound 43 at Fond du Lac Avenue. The two left lanes are blocked, so careful with that. We've also got 94 eastbound. That earlier accident at 68th Street has been cleared. The westbound side, they still have the right shoulder blocked with a crash through there. It's still going to be slow. Anyway, things are getting a little bit better as far as traction is concerned. Don't go too fast. Still don't go too fast. Still need to be careful. We do also have an accident on the off-ramp to Ryan Road from northbound 94, off on the right shoulder as well. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Brave Americans who served shouldn't be denied benefits or have a disability claim incorrectly evaluated by the VA. If you're one of those vets, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
This is Libby Collins. Join us this Saturday morning at 5 a.m. for a very special WTMJ Conversations with Jerry Mathers, the Beaver.
Everyone was an adventure. I'd read it and, it'd say,